It's the time to lift up the banner of Christ. As a member of the one blood human race, Charlie Kirk did. His legacy of public discourse, of bringing difficult conversations to the table, mattered. He caused us to think and to pray. Charlie has gone to meet his maker. May he rest in peace. May we honor him today by praying for his family and by answering this question: where will you spend eternity?
So y'all saw that bullshit, right? I'm trying to rationalize this. Before we get into anything, make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm just trying to make sense of it all. You know, mind you, see, as a part of the King family, and if you know me very well, I do have some opinions about Martin Luther King and his ideas. I'm more so of a Malcolm X student myself. But over time, I've learned to understand and maturely disagree while also respecting certain stances that Martin Luther King had. Even certain things that he had to say about the struggles of Black people, I can also appreciate, right? So I've grown a little lenient towards the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. However, when you got people like this within his family, someone such as his niece, who goes out of her way to not associate herself as a Black woman, but as a part of the human race.
As a member of the one blood human race, Charlie Kirk did.
And goes out of her way to support a white nationalist who is no longer with us. I have some questions. When you want to override his racism and all the things that he said bad towards other sets of people, Muslims, Black people, Black fathers, Black women, you override all of that because of his faith, which I find to be very dangerous. You had no judgment, no criticism whatsoever to the person that Charlie Kirk was. And you want to point the finger at us. Oh my goodness. And you want to stand in the authority of talking about the legacy of your uncle. I can't believe this. You want to critique us talking about how we're in the wrong for calling Charlie Kirk a racist when he was. What are we missing? And for you to be a part of the King family, you are really making the King family look very bad right now. I think there needs to be a family conversation, a family meeting or something. I don't know if I saw people in the comment section talking about maybe they paid her off for this, another sellout. I don't know, but this is really, I don't understand this. And what's really more astonishing about this is you have a lot of tap dancers out here who are supporting Charlie Kirk. They will say, we are Charlie Kirk before saying we are our ancestors. And I think that's very alarming. It's alarming that you have Black Christians out here, Black people who proclaim to be Christian. They will proclaim to be Christian before they are Black. And I don't understand that for the life of me. I don't understand why you have to dismiss who you are in your Blackness to be a Christian. As I said in other videos before, when it comes to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when it comes to the God of Israel, the Israelites always identified with who they were, and it intermixed with their God because who they were in their culture, in their traditions, and their laws came from their God. So them calling themselves Israelites always associated with who they were in terms of their God. And the same thing could be applied to you as a Black person. You don't have to somehow separate you being a Black person from your divinity. I digress, but I want to show you a video of a man who was talking about how he knew Charlie Kirk back in high school and some of the racial tension in high school with Charlie Kirk alongside with other people. Let's take a look at this.
No.
I grew up with Charlie Kirk. I went to high school with him, but I was around him a lot in high school, roughly from 2009 to 2011. And he was my bully. So I did not have a great opinion of him. Something changed. He was always kind of a pain to be around in high school. He wanted to go to West Point really, really, really badly. And he got rejected. And after that happened, he would go around Wheeling High School. And anyone that would talk to him, he would say that it was some imaginary Black person that took his spot. And I think that was the only way that he could rationalize in his mind that he was not good enough for West Point. Like, don't get me wrong, he would go around telling, like, Jews that they were going to hell. He would say to the Latino kids and to the black kids, like, to go back to their countries, and like completely unprompted, bonkers stuff. He was like 16 when he was saying this stuff, but it really went to 11. Like after he got rejected.
Okay, it all makes sense now why he chooses to debate youth, college students, people who haven't lived much of a life and gained a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge yet to be able to actually combat his false claims and statements. So even this video now makes sense.
If we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving.
Or even this clip.
Just customer service. At times, you can't. Here's what's upsetting to me, Heather, is if I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. It creates resentment, doesn't it, Heather? This is not a way to design society.
So he's hating on the most educated demographic in the United States for sure. Because we all know the reality is that your Ketanji Browns of the world, excellent, has done more and achieved more than any other Supreme Court justice, okay? Because we know that your Kamala Harris's, yes, the most qualified presidential candidate we have ever had that has served in every branch of government, right? And we know Joy Reid she's been in several Ivy League schools. She graduated, all those other types of things. And he hates it because he couldn't even make it through the admissions process because he was not good enough. Whereas we're usually beyond good enough and we're usually excellent and we still don't get chosen because they're not checking for us. And our daddies didn't go to.
Now, this isn't news to me. This is not news to me whatsoever. Why? Because when you're dealing with who Charlie Kirk was as an individual, I don't understand how you can look at somebody like Charlie Kirk. You can look at Turning Point. You can look at the platform that he, was the founder of and led. I don't know how you could look at that and not see the racism and not see the white nationalism. I mean, when he passed away, the first reaction from his audience was to threaten HBCUs. You had white people, white men out here talking about white men fight back. That was the reaction from Charlie Kirk passing away. You got people calling out for a death penalty for whoever off Charlie Kirk. All these different narratives that they tried to push out, and even in an instant, wanted to put this on black people at a point. Now, ain't that something? That I just don't understand for the life of me. But I find it very interesting for us as a people that there are some of us within our race. We're trying to find ways to advocate for Charlie Kirk. I don't understand that. I don't get that. But Charlie Kirk reminds me vividly of white kids I used to go to school with. Vividly. And I don't know if that may be the reason why I didn't like Charlie Kirk to begin with, but just in the way that he carried himself and the way that he talked, I knew uppity white people. I knew uppity white kids, white boys who used to talk like this, who used to carry themselves like this. And they looked the same way as Charlie Kirk. Got the receding hairline going on, talking the same way that Charlie Kirk talks. I remember people like Charlie back in high school, passively racist, making little side jokes about black people. I remember these same white kids, they had me on Snapchat calling me chimp and monkey, all these different things. I even had this white boy named Jacob. I'm not going to put out his last name, but if he ever comes across this, he know who I'm talking about. I remember this white boy, Jacob, he came up to me and vividly showed me a Snapchat of these white kids. They used to talk about me to my face. They used to talk all type of mess about me, right? I can laugh about this now because I love myself. But I remember this white kid just came up to me in my face and showed me this Snapchat of some random white kid who had, and I guess they were in chemistry class, right? And there was a monkey, the little cardboard monkey in the back of the science class. And the caption said, "I didn't know that I was having classes with Tyrone, LOL." These are the type of white kids that I was going to school with. I used to go to chemistry class, and these white kids would always try and find a way to compare me to the Planet of the Apes or a chimp. And they neck and neck remind me of people like Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if there's might be any videos out there of Charlie Kirk ever referring to black people as chimps and monkeys, but it's the same type of talk and rhetoric. And these are the same people that are inspired by people like Charlie Kirk, who look up to Charlie Kirk. And mind you, these same type of Christian white nationalists be in my DMs. They have called me a dumb monkey. They have told me in my DMs about, oh, they're going to do this and that to me. Same thing. These are coming from the same people. And while they might tell you to your face how much they love you and appreciate you, they hate to see a black man like me coming. They hate it. They hate for a mirror to be reflected in front of them. They hate for me to call out the bullshit. They hate for me to use a platform and be inspirational and charming about it. They hate it. That's why they didn't like people like Malcolm X. They didn't like people like Kwame Ture and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They didn't like people like Huey P. Newton and Fred Hampton. Black men who are articulate and stand for something. They hated it. I was doing my own research today. Come to find out, the FBI director said that Dr. Martin Luther King, at a certain point in time, he proclaimed Dr. Martin Luther King to be the most dangerous Negro on the planet. That speaks volumes. So I don't understand how we get to this point. And I'm not talking about as a country. I'm just talking about for black people. Why do we have to? Our biggest battle is not even with this country. It's with ourselves. It's with the people who reflect us and look like us. Because there are black people on these platforms who are saying that we somehow have a culture. We have a certain degenerate culture that is somehow influencing us and inspiring us to be our own demise. And I want you to understand, I have been put on record, right, of saying that black people don't have a culture. I have videos on that, and I don't know how long of videos there are. And I have made certain critiques like that as well. But there's context to that. When I say that black people don't have a culture, it gets to a point where some of our ideas and some of our values and our belief systems are inspired by another set of people. And those have to be re-evaluated, such as Christianity. Christianity is a very central point to black culture. But I do not believe that Christianity defines us in terms of who we are as a people. That's something that has to be reevaluated. Baby mama culture. And in some cases, we have normalized a single parent relationship, but I think that has to be reevaluated as well. And I think we have to have open discussions and mature conversations about these things without somehow villainizing black culture, villainizing the things that have made us who we are. And I think that's the maturity that I have today, aside from who I was maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, saying that black people don't have a culture. I think it's very ignorant, and I can be put on record in saying this. It was very ignorant of me at a certain time to say that black people don't have a culture. I will never say in this present time that black people don't have a culture. I will say, however, that the culture that we do have needs to be reevaluated in some cases. It's not perfect. You feel me? But at the same time, it is very disingenuous to say that black culture is talking slang, sagging pants, being ghetto, being heinous and hostile. That's a Western rhetoric. That is a white nationalist rhetoric, because that is how they want us to see ourselves, and that's how they want America to see us. I want you to understand that the moment that we took a stand for ourselves and we started to create organizations for ourselves, we started to say black power and black is beautiful. They called us extremists. And even today, they will call us extremists for saying that we are for ourselves before anybody else. I'll never forget when Issa Rae came out and said that I'm for everybody black. And she got immediate heat. I remember when John Boyega said he was on an interview, or he was being interviewed, and the little interviews, they was like, oh, you looking for a woman? You see any woman out here that you might like? And he was like, oh, I just want a very gorgeous black woman. Oh, them white women were hurt. They were, how could you, what? You should love everybody. Hurt. Why are you hurt? I find it interesting how butthurt and how insecure and fragile the emotions of white people can be when it comes to us as black people, and we just express who we are. We just love ourselves. Mona Leo has came out with a video. Boy, she has done her thing with that song. She has gone through the roof with that song. And it has upset so many white people. Oh, why do we have to go to the back? Why do we have to go through this? Yeah, okay, you take them tears to the back, Connor. All right, a song that is revolutionary, that can arguably now be an anthem for black people. Mona Leo did that, and rightfully so. We should have songs that should bring us together as black people. And if you are very socially if you are socially ignorant of the history that black people, of what black people had to go through in America, of what black people had to experience and endure in America and throughout the world via colonialism, via Western civilization, I don't know what else to tell you. To villainize a black man like me and telling me that I'm demonic or satanic, or I'm leading people astray because I'm telling black people to go back to a knowledge of self, to go back to studying their culture and their spirituality of who they used to be and the connection that they used to have with nature and the divine essence itself before they were even introduced to a Jesus, before they were even introduced to a Bible. I'm telling you as a black man or woman to do that, and I get villainized, and I get all these different names in my comment section and in my DMs. It's ridiculous. But you know what? My friend calling me right now. I guess that's my cue. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all check out this video as well. I want to know y'all thoughts in the comments below as well. Hi. Hey, I don't know if you can see the camera. Kind of